I want to talk about Venus retrograde. I know I haven't made a video in a while again, but so Venus retrograde is an interesting time. This is a time where we reevaluate our relationships, our finances, everything that has to do with like physical form of substance that brings us pleasure, or that doesn't bring us pleasure. Venus governs our likes and dislikes. On the Taurus side of the scale, which is Taurus is ruled by Venus, that governs over the more material aspects like money, possessions, resources, what's of personal value. And on the Libra side is more about love and relationships and others, and just relating and balance, also justice. With that said, Venus retrograde is a time where we need to be careful about giving in to temptation during this time. Like, Venus retrograde is one of the classic times where you're gonna want to not maybe drink so much. You're gonna be like, oh man, I wish I didn't drink so much. God, I have the worst hangover. I shouldn't have partied so much, blah blah blah. Or even worse, it's a time not to steal or cheat on your partner, or there's never a good time for that, but you're more likely to get caught during Venus retrograde, especially that Saturn's retrograde now too. So these are two retrogrades that are really a double dose of be careful what choices you're making and things that you're doing, because they're going to hit, and you're gonna wish that you didn't make some of the choices that you've made. With Venus retrograde, it's about balancing, basically learning moderation, between like what brings you pleasure, what you like to indulge in. Like I said, Venus is what you like or dislike about your partner and your relationships and others. Also, your relationship with money, material things, resources, possessions, and stuff of that nature. And it's also just substance, like your relationship with food, like eating too much. Don't overeat. Learn how to balance your diet better. Just anything with physical substance, anything that brings us what's worth living is Venus. It's the stuff that we enjoy in life, that we appreciate. It's when you go and buy a gift for somebody, you're thinking, oh, what would they like? Well, you're picking up on their Venus sign. Their Venus sign is what attracts them, what their taste is, what they're attracted to, what they like. It's just their taste. So now during retrograde, it's time to really reevaluate and take stock of your relationships, what you like and what you don't like about your relationship, how you feel about others. So right now, there might be a little bit of people's guard being up. Things can sometimes get a little untrusting during this time. And you just have to, be careful as you navigate, especially with Saturn retrograde, because that's a double dose of karma right there and reality. With Venus, it's all about our physical pleasures and the things in life that make things worth living, that we enjoy. And it's about really ascending the Venus nature past the material aspect. That's really what Venus retrograde is here for. It's really about finding a deeper, more fulfilling love and relationship with yourself. So yeah, it's kind of it's not the easiest energy to navigate with, because everything that you might have to learn you have to give things up. Like, you might go into checking with your doctor, or have to start not eating so much sugar or whatnot, blah blah blah. Stuff like that could happen during Venus retrograde. It's about learning the right moderation, the right balance. And it's also it's an energy where you got to be careful, because you might get caught. Don't give in to temptation. It's kind of the devil kind of holds the temptation. Venus is the morning star, which is Lucifer, in astrotheology. So just been thinking about Venus retrograde a lot, and I also want to point out that I think that the stuff that's actually going on during Venus retrograde, even though like people might feel trusting or unguarded with others, or with as far as their relationships go, chances are things aren't as bad as they might seem. Like I said, Venus retrograde, there's a very rich, deep, fulfilling, strong love to Venus retrograde, and a lot of times that gets misconstrued, and people who have Venus retrograde often try to give that love, but they get rejected, and then they don't realize what they got to do to be that example to people. My wife has Venus retrograde, and so they sometimes it's hard to demonstrate how they really feel, because they feel very strongly, but they doubt how other people feel in return. But yeah, I wanted to make this video on Venus because I've been thinking about it a lot, and I'll try to make more videos as I can. Like I said, I'm just really busy. I do want to start my projects and my videos. There's my son Cooper right there. I want to do more of these right now. I just have a lot on my plate. There's certain things I gotta take care of. But anyway, be careful with your actions and your choices and what temptations you give in. My advice is to basically just, if you have any doubt that whether you should or you shouldn't right now, probably don't do it. You know what I mean? If it feels like it's something that's tempting, or you're wondering, you'll be happy that you didn't give in at this time. So modify your actions, balance them out. Venus does rule justice on the Libra side of the scale, so you'll be brought to justice, for better or for worse at this time, especially with Saturn being retrograde. All right, I'll conclude that for now. For all of you, take care, but don't just take care, give care too. Have a good one.